And another aspect that's been great on the show has been how the school has accepted us. And we have with us our favorite director who has a show much bigger than ours. With the coolest part of Michaela's show, for me, is she gets to work with her old dad. I don't know if it's cool for you, but I know for your father, you could not ask for a better way to spend the night than having a show with his little baby. But we've done a lot with the school.
Yeah.
What do you think is the way people view our school shows?
Oh, the school shows are super popular. I know from personal experience, people will be like, oh, did you see that was on Milford TV? Or did you see this sort of thing? It's like creating a buzz. Most people didn't know we had a studio before we started getting coverage. And now it's like, oh, when is Milford TV coming? When is this happening? And it's so interesting to see people my age engaged in such political and town events that we would otherwise not be engaged of if we didn't have the studio.
Well, this new studio that Rob has put together makes life easier, because when you asked for volunteers and the equipment was just shy of 100 years, 200 years old, you know, I mean, when the old director had a crank to get the electricity going, it was hard for kids from the high school to really get excited about using pre-World War I technology. But now, I mean, it's all state of the art.
Yeah, it's incredible. And even I've seen more pushes for classes at the high school, like video production. Now we have video production 3, and we have a drone, and we have all these sort of cool things, and people are just getting more access to this stuff, and it's just, the knowledge is incredible. Like, we have a bunch of interns at Milford TV just from the high school at Milford, which is incredible.
And you know, it's always been hard because we interview school candidates. These people affect the life of your children. You know, I mean, if I was lucky by high school, I got to see my daughters a half hour, an hour a day. The school committee makes decisions that affects you 6 to 8 hours.
Yeah.
And seeing an ad in the town crier is kind of neat, but doesn't tell me, is this the kind of man or woman I want making decisions about my daughters? Having them come on for an hour, people get a good feeling for, who is this person? Do I like them? And then having IT director come on, having the athletic director come on, you know, and when you look, Matt really lays out his programs. Peter impressed me so much when he said, I have student athletes. It's like, hallelujah, somebody understands that less than 0.1% of these kids are going to ever have a chance to make money at sports. But they're going to have to make a living. So I really, really enjoyed that. And then having the school committee come on and talk about issues. And some of them, they have a sense of humor. I mean, you got to give Kevin McIntyre credit when I introduced him as Rudolph Killer.
Yeah.
Because they weren't letting us put Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer decorations up.
Exactly.
And he took it in stride and explained and said it's going to be broadened. Maybe the first year was a little too tight. But it's good to see that the kids not only are willing to help us, but benefit from it.
Exactly, and it's for the first time that we're getting a chance to actually see the names and the faces behind the people who are affecting our future so much, because most people are like, oh, I have no idea who the superintendent is or the assistant superintendent or any of the directors, but through Milford TV and seeing all that stuff in the paper, you just get all that stuff magnified 100%.
So now let's show you some clips of some of the people in our school system who affect our school system, so you can actually see the faces if you've missed the show. So let's start with introductions.
I'm Dr. Kevin McIntyre, Superintendent of the Milford Public Schools. Thanks for having me tonight, Al. Tim Kernan, a principal of Woodland Elementary. Thanks for having me as well.
And welcome to Milford.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank you for joining us. And we're going to meet, as I mentioned, the two forces behind the new Woodland, Aldo Chakey and Jonathan Bruce.
Good morning, Al. Welcome, welcome. Al, welcome
Well,
here.
why
Welcome
don't
to
you come
town of
out here?
Milford.
And tell us what we're looking at.
Al, what we have here is the building consists of three buildings. To my right is the admin wing, which will have the cafetorium, offices, art, and music. The middle section is a three-storied section. The admin wing is a two-storied. This is a general academic area. Most of our class work will be done in here. And to the far end is the gymnasium area. And that's where your physical education activities, and there's a room behind it which will handle health activities and additional teaching spaces. And of course the main entrance to the building, glass, and office areas.
Let's start with an introduction.
Do you mind if I just respond to that?
No, please.
That's really important to us, and it's important to, the administration, the teachers, the coaches. And I'm going into my fourth year now, and I might have slipped once or twice and a couple of thousand times of saying student athletes, and might have said athletes, and I'm not joking, once or twice, but I made it very clear when I started that they're student athletes, and academics comes first, 1A. Athletics is very, it's close, it's a 2 or a 1B, but you know what? They have to perform in the classroom before they can perform after school, and you hit the nail on the head. Life lessons is everything.
So why don't we start with introductions?
Well, thanks for having us tonight. This is my third time on the show, and I'm excited to come back every time. I've been here almost a year, and it's been a great time, and I look forward to more things even further down the road. So my name is Matthew Joseph. I am the Director of Digital Learning, Innovation, and Technology here in the Milford Public Schools.
My name is Christina Cody. I'm a grade 2 ELL teacher at Memorial Elementary School.
My name is Dan Cody. I'm a 6th grade geography teacher, and I'm also the curriculum team leader for social studies in the middle grades.
Teresa Moore. I'm at Stacy, and I'm a 6th grade math teacher.
And congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Now been married a whole
month.
Oh, but let's start with introductions.
Hi, I'm Mike Walsh. I'm chairman of the Milford Youth Commission.
And now you turn your hat from,
That's right.
From chairman of the school and everything else.
Right.
I'm Jen Ward. I'm the director of the Milford Youth Center.
And a new face.
I'm Katie Covell. I'm the assistant director.
Where we meet some students who've come from France to the center of the universe. And this is our annual Lydia and the Frenchies show. So why don't we start with introductions. Lydia, why don't you kick us off?
Oh, sure. My name is Lydia Buckley, and I'm the French teacher at Milford High School.
Audrey?
Hi, my name is Audrey Blanc. I'm the English teacher in Lyon in Charles de Foucault High School.
Hello, my name is Florence Cervantes, and I'm an English teacher as well in Lyon, in Lycée Charles de Foucault.
C'est vous?
Elisabeth Riff, teacher of biology in Lyon.
George Murphy, one of the host parents. I'm Michael Bushy, one of the host parents.
All along, the businesses of Milford are the ones that really help us out. First of all, they have a dual tax rate that they absorb, so they're paying 50% more on taxes, which then goes to help keep the residential taxes down. I think Paul Abedanza once told me that for every dollar we collect, the average house in Milford pays about $4,900. For every dollar we collect, it costs us about $1.80 in services. So somebody's got to make it up. That's why towns around us, I always love when people say, well, we have the same tax rate as Milford. Really? But trash, well, you got to pay separate for that. You buy little designer trash bags. Oh, some of the towns around, you want to put your child on a school bus? That's $400 extra. To me, and it's like, well, those aren't taxes, those are fees. Well, when I find somebody's hand going in my pocket to take money out, I don't care what you call it, it feels like a tax. But we've had so many businesses come on and talk so positively about Milford. The banks, you know, when you look at, you know, Milford National, you look at Milford Federal, every time the kids in this town need something, you see their name pitching in.
Absolutely. They've been the sponsor of us, Homefield Credit Union, Cornerstone. Many businesses in town have reached out to us for sponsorship, and we appreciate that. And there's so many businesses that just want to help out in general. And the Milford Area Chamber of Commerce does a great job of bringing those businesses together and getting the employees to all work together and come up with interesting events in town. You know, a great showcase of all the businesses in town getting together is the recently they just started doing it, the Milford Celebrate Milford.
Celebrate Milford.
Yeah, so the last couple of years they've been doing that. You go out there, you see all the businesses in town out there with vendor tables and you know, pitching in to just help out.
When that time comes, my neighbor, good Dr. Suarez, Joe starts sending out emails all over the place. It's an incredible, it's that and 4th of July that really makes me, and the Claflin Hill.
And the Santa Parade.
And the Santa Parade. That makes me feel like Milford.
Yeah.
You know, because we did the 4th of July once in Boston. Cost us over $500 by the time you do a hotel and dinner.
Oof.
And it didn't feel the same. There was something special about walking around when my wife's not looking and sneaking over and having Gattazzi and Acavelli slip me a hot dog. You know, I get to eat the hot dog there every year. You know, it's Milford. You know, having the funeral directors come on and talk to us about a time when nobody wants to talk about. The banks. You know, Christy Cavallo comes on, talks not only about her bank, but then about how to watch out for fraud. You know, all of the real estate companies that came on, that's Milford. It's Milfordians coming together to help other Milfordians. And that's what I felt was really special about all the companies. Tonight, we're going to talk about, I don't even know how to describe the level of care that we keep seeing improve. Just when you thought we were at the best we'll ever be, people like Dr. Oreo comes in with a whole new level. So no longer do we have to go all the way to Boston to scan my cat or scan my pets. But it's amazing the kind of treatment we can get and the investment that, you know, small research places like Dana-Farber are now making in our area. Just truly, truly amazing. So let's start with an introduction, even though you've been on quite a few times.
Thank you for having me back. Yes, my name is Peter Oreo. I'm a radiation oncologist, the medical director and now the vice chair of network operations for Dana-Farber Bergman Women's Cancer Centers. And
congratulations.
Thank you very much. So, you know, I think we have a wonderful, you know, service to offer people in the community. I think it's, you know, been wildly successful. In fact, we keep expanding, and that's why I'd like, you know, to chat a little bit about what's going on today, because I think we're making things better and better, which is a wonderful feeling.
Have an hour to talk with the people who spearhead all the efforts of taking care of our loved ones, our family, and everybody in the Milford area. The heads of the medical center here. Why don't we start with an introduction?
Yeah, I'm Phil Ciarmacoli, and I'm president of the physician group practice, formerly Tri-County Medical, now Milford Regional Physician Group.
Good evening, Al. Ed Kelly, President and CEO for Milford Regional Medical Center.
Now, Ed, you get to keep your title.
I do.
I mean, with Phil now, he becomes the father of the new school committee member.
Well, welcome. Tonight we're going to talk about the latest crown that's been added to the phenomenal medical center we have here in Milford. And on top of that, the person who's driving the most important part of the crown. Why don't we start with an intro?
Thanks, Al. It's always great to be here with you. My name is Jeff Hopkins, and I'm the chair of the emergency department at Milford Regional Medical Center. I went into that role in 2010, so I've been there about 7 years in my chair role, but prior to then, I was a attending physician, and I still work, regular shifts. I'm still,
I like that.
Still putting in my shifts.
Tonight, we have an old friend on the show who is here to talk about different viral conditions and flus. And tonight, we're going to talk about a new topic that is not about viruses.
Well, indirectly, perhaps. We're talking in general about antibiotics, what they're good for and what they're not good for, and how some infections are getting more and more resistant to antibiotics, and we'll talk about those as well.
So let's start with an introduction.
Okay. Michael Newstein. I've been at Milford Regional now for almost 20 years, 18 or 19 years. I'm an infectious disease physician. I see people who come to the hospital or who have other infections, and I enjoy my time there at the hospital. It's a good place.
Well, welcome. Tonight we have a veteran of the show coming on again this year to give us an update on what he's doing to keep our knees and other things working properly. Why don't we start with an introduction?
Sure. I'm Dr. Michael Vasquez. I'm an orthopedic surgeon. I have an office in Milford, on Fortune Boulevard. I'm in a group with 2 other surgeons. We are all orthopedic specialists. My specific subspecialty is more arthroscopic surgery, sports medicine type injuries, but that really ranges from treating young kids to older adults to everything in between. And we also, my partners do quite a few joint replacement surgeries for hips, knees, and shoulders. And I've been at the practice for about 8 years now. The practice has been there. It's called Mulroy Orthopedics. Mulroy is the name of the senior partner, Dr. John Mulroy. And I think he's been in Milford for almost 15 years now, I believe. So we're pretty well entrenched in the community, and yeah, it's nice to be back. I think it was a couple years ago that I was here and kind of talked orthopedics and other things. So thanks for having me
when
back.
you think continuously exploring the incredible services offered here in Milford at the various medical facilities. Tonight, we're going to look at state-of-the eye care, what's available for eye care, what advances are coming about, and amazingly, how you get them right here in Milford. So why don't we start with an introduction?
Well, thank you very much, Al. I'm Dr. Roger Kaldawi, and I am one of the 3 surgeons, ophthalmologists at Milford Franklin Eye Center. And we have 2 offices, one in Milford, one in Franklin. And I'm very happy to be today here with you. And I would like to thank you, of course, for your invitation to chat a little bit about eye care, and in particular focus on what's new, what's state of the art, what's really coming as future technology to help us with our day-to-day eye needs.
Well, welcome. Tonight we have a very interesting person to talk to, something that we don't quite think is available in Milford. We're learning with everything that's been set up at the Regional Medical Center, the depth of expertise and the breadth of services. Tonight we're going to talk about a very special service, and one that most of us, frankly, don't really understand, that we have a preset conception of what the service is. And tonight we're going to learn a little bit more about why we would come visit. Why don't we start with an introduction?
My name is Dr. William Recupero. Sometimes I go by Bill. I'm not new to Massachusetts, but new to the Milford area. I just recently joined with Tri-County Medical Associates, and I operate out of Milford Regional Medical Center. I grew up in Stoughton, Massachusetts. I went to medical school in Kansas City, and I did a scholarship through the Army.
Welcome. Today we're going to talk about a relatively new field, and I can't say for an old MD, I'll have to say for a very experienced MD. But let's start with an introduction.
My name is Dr. Sam Zylstra, and I've been trained in Buffalo, New York in OBGYN and in general surgery, and came to UMass in 1990, recruited to start the Urogyn program at UMass with Dr. Young. Spent 8 years there, and then Milford came calling, like for many of us, and turns out I spent the last, 20 plus years here at Milford.
It's amazing.
And time flies, by the way.
Well, welcome. Tonight we're going to talk about a topic that unfortunately seems to affect a couple 100,000 Americans a year. That it looks like we're making progress, but we wanted to get an update. So why don't we start with introductions?
I'm Tanya Lingos, Radiation Oncology, and I am the former medical director and current director of network development in radiation oncology over here at Milford at the Dana-Farber Brigham and Women's Cancer Center at Milford Regional Medical Center.
My name is Hitai Pashtan, and I'm one of the physicians within the group.
So now we're talking about breast care. Because I remember the first time we did a show when I said breast cancer, it was like, no, we want to look at the overall steps we should take. Are we winning?
Absolutely. I mean, the statistics show that we're doing better and better in combating breast cancer, in curing the women who get it.
Well, welcome. Tonight we continue our series talking about some of the wonderful, actually pretty incredible services that are offered right here at the center of the universe in Milford. We have two special guests on tonight to talk about robotic surgery, something that, I always think of Mass General, the Harvard hospitals in Boston, but we have that right here in Milford. So why don't we start with introductions?
Hi, Al. Thanks for having us here. My name is Melissa Clow. I'm a gynecologist here in Milford.
Hi, Al. Also nice to be here. Leonard DiGiovanni, also OBGYN, UMass OBGYN here in Milford as well.
Now, let's start out with, when we hear robotic surgery, visions of Lost in Space, Will Robinson robot walking up. Danger. Exactly. Yeah. Well, I hope that you've enjoyed seeing some of the people that we brought back. There's so many more that I'm sure we missed, and I apologize because people will, if they're one of the 6 that watch, won't like the fact that I didn't put a clip from their show on. But it's been such an amazing ride for 500 shows. I mean, everything right down to something as special as Sister O'Keefe's cake. Thank you. But this is what Milford's about. It's taking an extra minute. And thank you for making the studio so incredible.
No, thank you for using it. Like I said, we can build it, but if people like you and our other members and volunteers don't come in and take advantage of it, then it's all for naught. So without you, literally, there would be no Milford TV.
So tonight, I'm going to enjoy, for the 500th time, saying thank you to our 6 loyal viewers. And maybe since it's a special show, we have 7 or 8. But as always, may God bless. May tomorrow at the center of the universe be a better day than today. Thank you and good night.
Not too long since I've been home.